Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to get started in just a few minutes.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. We are going to be talking about the U.S. Department of Energy's Marine Energy Collegiate Competition. On today's call, we have myself, Ariel Cardinal from the National Renewable Energy Laboratory, Jen Garson from the Department of Energy's Water Power Technologies Office, and Mike Lawson from NREL as well. And just to let everybody know that this webinar is being recorded. And also, we did host a similar webinar to this about a month ago, and that was recorded as well. That webinar is available on our competition website. Most of the contents that we're going to review today are very similar to what was on the last webinar as well. All right, and so, one second. So the purpose of the webinar today is to share information on the U.S. Department of Energy's Powering the Blue Economy Marine Energy Collegiate Competition. On today's agenda, we're going to go over the Department of Energy's Water Power Technology Office objectives and just provide a quick overview. We're going to discuss what Powering the Blue Economy initiative is, discuss the Marine Energy Collegiate Competition, an overview of events and deliverables, give some feedback from similar competitions, talk a little bit about ICOE 2020, where this competition is going to take place, and then review expectation and timeline and criteria for the competition. Wanted to just emphasize right up front that applications for this competition are due October 18th, which is coming up pretty quickly. And then also, in terms of the format for the webinar, everybody who is not presenting today is on mute, but you can ask any questions that you'd like by typing your question into the chat box in your control bar. And then at the end of the webinar, we will have a Q&A period where we will answer the questions that are typed in. And again, just to reiterate, this webinar is recorded and the transcripts of this will be posted on our competition website, and the link is provided here on this slide. So right now, I'm actually going to pass it over to Jen Garson from DOE's Water Power Technology Office, who is going to provide a little bit of context onto what the DOE is working on and why they are interested in this competition. So Jen, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Great.
Thank you for everybody for joining today. We are really excited about this competition. This is the first time that the Water Power Technologies Office has run a collegiate-focused competition. And when we were evaluating what we really wanted to prioritize, we really think that this Powering the Blue Economy effort is a good way to get a whole host of different universities engaged and involved in helping us think about really the kind of ocean technologies of the future. So the purpose of this collegiate competition is structured so that we can harness all the kind of innovative thought leaders out in our university space and get students really thinking about, what are the possibilities in these markets for the next couple decades to come. So everything at like offshore aquaculture to powering ocean observing systems to desalination. We've taken a good first step at looking at these different markets where marine energy could be uniquely suited. But what we're looking for is a better evaluation of what the market potential is and starting to reimagine what marine energy devices could look like. And so, for the DOE, we are looking to engage a whole host of new students, new universities, give our, research community an interesting objective of trying to develop, table scale prototypes for markets that are still really pretty much out in the future. So it's a good chance to leverage business skills and communication skills and engineering and like scientific skills in this really compelling competition. And so we're really looking forward to seeing what comes out of this competition, having an evaluation of what the markets could look like and where the most interesting applications are. What can these devices look like? Do they look like the ones that we've been working on within WPTO, or are they completely brand new? So I want to thank everybody for joining today, and we're really excited to see what results at ICOE.
Great, thanks so much, Jen. All right, so, Jen provided a little bit of an overview, but I'm going to get into a little more depth of what the DOE Water Power Technologies Office is. So it was formed in 2008. The program supports all stages of research for both marine energy and hydropower. Within about the last year or so, WPTO has begun funding efforts to analyze the current workforce and has funded NREL to identify mechanisms to strengthen the workforce through both educational materials and industry academia collaborations. And this competition is part of that effort. So in 2018, also, the WPTO began exploring opportunities for water power in alternative markets, which I will get into in the next slide. So what is the blue economy? The blue economy has been defined a few different ways, but a definition that the Water Power Technologies Office has embraced is the World Bank's definition, which suggests that the blue economy is the sustainable use of ocean resources for economic growth, improved livelihoods and jobs, while preserving the health of ocean ecosystems. It's currently estimated that the blue economy has an economic value of about $1.5 trillion and could potentially double to $3 trillion by 2030. So for this and a host of other reasons, the blue economy has become an administration priority. So DOE's Water Power Technology Office sees that marine energy can have a dual role in the blue economy. The program's funding both efforts to accelerate marine energy technology development that can be deployed at a utility scale level, but in addition, they're looking at potential areas in which marine renewables can provide energy to other sectors and potentially open up new markets. Through this year's publication of the Powering the Blue Economy report, the Water Power Technologies Office has identified two thematic challenges. So both power at sea and resilient coastal communities. Many marine-based applications and markets are located far from shore, sometimes in deep water, and delivering power to these systems can be expensive and difficult. The ability to power these systems using energy derived from the ocean could offer a cost-effective alternative. Additionally, marine energy can help support coastal communities, making them more resilient when faced with extreme events such as tsunamis, hurricanes, floods, or droughts. Many marine applications marine energy applications are ideally suited to coastal development. They can offer relatively easy access for installation and operation of maintenance activities. The Powering the Blue Economy report investigated 8 potential markets that could be supported by marine energy technologies. These are ocean observation, underwater vehicle charging, marine aquaculture, marine algae, seawater mining, seawater desalination, coastal resiliency, and disaster recovery, and isolated communities. So the graphic in this slide sort of shows examples of how marine energy can be applied to these different markets. Yeah, I guess just to say that, you know, these are just examples. Everything in here, this is a nascent technology, new industries. So when it comes to the context of this competition, we don't want to limit anybody's thinking in terms of just these markets and these potential applications, but these are just some examples. So seeing the potential for marine energy to play a large role in the blue economy, we see the need for a skilled workforce to address the various needs of the industry. For marine energy to be successfully integrated in the blue economy, various skills will be required. Some of those are depicted in these pictures on the slide. And then some of the skills needed that will be needed for marine energy to contribute to the blue economy are also identified on this slide. As you can see, a diverse workforce will be needed to make this nascent industry successful. We'll need a wide variety of experts, from engineers to vessel operators to financiers and technicians. Not only will there be a need for expertise within each phase of project development, there will be a need for strong collaboration amongst the various entities to ensure project success. And so that is sort of the heart of this competition is, if you've read the rules and requirements document, you can see that we're asking for, you know, both a business plan and a preliminary technical design. So we're hoping to engage people from different disciplines and work together as they would need to in this new industry. So a little bit about the MECC. As I've said, there's a clear need for new and viable concepts in a workforce armed with necessary skills that the industry demands, and interdisciplinary coordination, which has driven the Water Power Technologies Office to launch the first ever Marine Energy Collegiate Competition. In bringing students together from diverse disciplines to consider opportunities for marine energy, we're working to cultivate creative thinking and problem solving to help formulate novel solutions. This requires teams comprised of diverse backgrounds and group collaboration to help everyone see the comprehensive picture, not just one standalone piece of the puzzle. We're trying to intertwine academic coursework with hands-on learning to think outside of the traditional academic methods. This platform for STEM education not only gives students a better understanding of marine energy, but it also gives them an experience that can't be replicated in the classroom alone. We've heavily considered the competition elements to make sure students are developing the skills employers are looking for when hiring their entry-level workers. This is great preparation for entering the workforce and becoming a highly sought-after candidate by hiring managers. From some of the other collegiate competitions NREL has organized, we've seen the value of direct interaction with industry. So during this competition, participating students will have the chance to meet directly with experts in both marine energy and the blue economy. We'll highlight the diverse opportunities available in the blue economy and support industry in finding and helping to prepare highly qualified candidates. Competitors will also have the chance to work with younger students and teach them some of the skills they've learned throughout the process. They'll become role models for these younger students and help inspire them, hopefully, to pursue the education and experience necessary for a career in the blue economy. And hopefully that will deepen their own learning as they teach the lessons they've learned themselves. Noting that there is a need for viable concepts, the workforce, and interdisciplinary coordination, the WPTO is launching this competition. Some of the ways that we see this to be mutually beneficial for the WPTO industry and you are identified on this slide. The competition will get teams to work across different disciplines, providing students with an understanding of what it takes to get a project going. And so, yeah, I'll get more into that on the next few slides. So what makes up this MECC Marine Energy Collegiate Competition? Students that compete will be required to create a business plan and a conceptual level technical design of a marketable device that powers any sector of the blue economy that they choose to look into. Teams will complete a written report. It's going to be comprised of that business plan and the preliminary technical design. They'll present Also, during a public pitch competition on their business plan to a panel of judges at ICOE 2020, which we'll discuss a little bit more later on in the webinar. They'll also develop a poster overviewing the team's entire technical and business plan and create a non-working tabletop scale model of the technology concept. Some of the questions that will be asked during the public pitch session will be provided in advance to each team, so you have an idea of how you can prepare for your pitch and the question and answer section. Full details for all of these deliverables and requirements for each of the teams on both the business plan and the technical design are available on our competition website and in the rules and requirements document that is linked through the website. I should note that the rules and requirements document provides all the details on the competition requirements and scheduling information, and it should be read thoroughly by each team as they go throughout the competition. It's also recommended for teams to engage in some external activities as well to broaden their knowledge base, make new connections in marine energy, and share their knowledge with the community. So getting into the details of what the business plan is composed of, it should address the topics shown on this slide. Teams will need to describe the concept, the global market opportunity, who the stakeholders are. They'll have to conduct end-user surveys. They'll provide detail on the development and operations plan, a financial and benefits analysis, and a preliminary technical analysis, which we'll discuss a little bit more in the next slide. And note that a full pro forma will not be required for the financial and benefits analysis. And just to reiterate again, all of this information can be found in the rules and requirements document. So in terms of the preliminary technical design, I'm going to hand it over to Mike Lawson here at NREL to discuss what this is going to look like.
Thanks, Ariel. I'm Mike. I'm an engineer here in the Marine Energy program at NREL, and I'll talk a little bit about the technical design that Ariel was mentioning. So as part of the plan that you have to submit, you need to include enough technical detail on the marine energy system such that you can, the judges, the evaluators can evaluate the baseline operating properties of the proposed system. And at a minimum, you have to cover the following topics in your technical design. So first of all, you have to describe the design and describe why it meets the objectives of the particular blue economy market your business plan is targeting. So you need to include things about the power production requirements, loads and power needs of any associated storage that your system needs to provide to meet the objectives or the needs of the blue market, the blue economy market you're going after. You'll also have to do a performance analysis. And this does not need to be a detailed performance analysis. It can be a first order analysis using reduced order models. But in that analysis, you need to estimate the power conversion capture efficiency and make some attempts towards optimization across available resources. And also you need to identify or estimate the converter efficiency. Moving on, you also need to demonstrate or discuss why the proposed technology is designed to withstand the operating forces and moments that the device will experience when deployed in its intended operating environment. And so this is really just an estimation of forces, loads, moments, and making sure that your system can survive those when deployed. You'll also have to describe how the design addresses the needs of the identified market. And you'll have to provide engineering diagrams with at least some basic mechanical drawings of all important components of your system.
All right, great. Thanks, Mike. And again, not to sound like a broken record, but all of this information can be found in the rules and requirements document. All right, and then moving on to how these plans are going to be scored. So the students will be scored on their performance in the competition, as each team will be required to develop a business plan and a preliminary technical design. Each group will be evaluated based on the thoroughness of their plans and how they've addressed each category in the scoring rubrics. So this right here on the slide is just a kind of an overall rubric that you can see, and there's a more detailed rubric showing you throughout each section of the document how you'll be scored in that rules and requirements document that I've referenced a few times now. But I should also note that if through the development of the business plan and the preliminary technical design, the team's concept doesn't seem viable, that's not going to be something that would lead you to have reduction in points. The teams will be judged on the thoroughness of their responses and the completion of all components of the business plan and not just on the potential success of the concept. So you can get an overview of the competition and how everything's scored in the application on our website. And it should get you started, but if you come across any questions as you're working through the full rules requirements document, you can reach out to the organizing team on our website. There's a link to an email to contact us at water.competition@nrel.gov. It's our email address. All the people who are on this webinar right now will get a link to this webinar from the Water Competition's email address, so you'll automatically have that in your inbox. So NREL has had a hand in organizing many different collegiate competitions for the Department of Energy. The response to these competitions has been really overwhelmingly positive. Students have recognized the value in participating in the competitions. They give them real-world experience and applied experience that can't be replicated in the classroom. Not only that, but the opportunity to engage with national lab staff and industry provides them with useful information and also recognition as they begin their career search. As you can see from this, small sample of quotes provided on this slide, students tend to get a lot out of value through participation in competitions like this one. And so a little more information on ICOE 2020, which is where the competition is going to be held. To provide the industry interaction that has shown to offer significant benefits to students who are seeking a career once they complete their degrees, the competition will be co-located with the International Conference on Ocean Energy 2020, which is taking place next year in Washington, D.C., May 19th through 21st. This conference is the largest marine renewable energy conference and is held every 2 years. It has never before been hosted in the United States and has only been hosted outside of Europe once since its inception in 2006. This event will be a one-time opportunity for the marine energy industry to showcase world-class U.S. marine energy research and testing capabilities with the rest of the world, and for students to show this global industry the things that they've learned as well. This could include highlighting marine energy research and the unique capabilities of U.S. universities and laboratories, and announce the winners of several U.S. Department of Energy prizes and competitions, including the competitors from the MECC. On a related note, ICOE organizers are accepting abstracts for the technical research track and the industry and markets track through November 15th. You can visit the ICOE 2020 website for more information on this. And it's encouraged for everybody on this webinar to go and take a look at that and see how they can be involved in ICOE 2020. So the organizing team at NREL and the DOE's Water Power Technology Office is committed to hosting a fair and unbiased competition at ICOE 2020 with expert judges who will be recruited to participate. We'll provide selected teams with $15,000 of seed funding to help subsidize their efforts. This is available for U.S. institutions only. We will be providing marine energy education opportunities through informational webinars and shared reference documents. And after the event, we'll create an alumni network to maintain contact with each other and share information. The event will provide opportunities to engage with industry, both throughout your formation of your business plan and at ICOE itself. We do encourage teams to engage with their communities and share what they've learned. And what we are expecting of all the teams, that you'll put your best foot forward, both while preparing for the competition to make sure you're ready for the competition ahead of you, engaging in a professional and collegial atmosphere at the competition. Teams are expected to take full advantage of all the opportunities that are provided to them, learn what they can through the competition, and work to meet with industry professionals to advance your own careers in marine energy. The teams will be bringing lessons they've learned about marine energy into your own classroom and help spread those lessons beyond to support potentially younger students who are interested in this field as well. Should the $15,000 in seed funding not prove to be enough to support the necessary resources that you might need to prepare students for the competition, you would be required to acquire additional funds through fundraising or other means within your universities. So applications for the competition are due October 18th. The template can be found on the MECC website. Both the template and the rules and requirements document show how the applications will be scored, which is also shown on this slide. Educational objective and integration will be 25%, organization and project planning 25%, team configuration and inclusivity 15%, budget management and institutional support 20%, and communication and outreach 15%. Again, these are all described in more detail on the template and in the rules and requirements document. So an overview of the timeline. So we released the competition rules and requirements back in August. We had our first informational webinar on the 29th of August, and now today's is the second and last of the informational webinars. Applications will be due October 18th. We will notify teams if they are selected by November 1st. On November 6th, we'll have our first informational webinar on design methods that will be hosted by Oregon State University. And then November through May will be concept development. On January 31st, we'll require just a high-level concept summary so that we can figure out who the best judges will be to score each of your business plans and attend at the live pitch. On May 3rd, 2 weeks prior to ICOE, your written business plans will be due. We'll host an optional dry run presentation in Washington, D.C. the day before ICOE starts. And then the competition will take place the first 2 days of ICOE, May 19th through 20th. And then we'll have a follow-up meeting in July to gain feedback from all the teams who participated and hopefully get some good insight into what worked and didn't work and how we could shape potential future competitions. And just to go over this in a little more depth, because of the selection notification November 1st, this will span the full academic year with ICOE being in May. We'll be holding monthly calls with teams to check in on the status and provide updates. In regards to the actual event at ICOE, again, we'll be offering an optional dry run. And then the other events at ICOE will be the live pitch presentation, the poster model display session, an awards ceremony, and an on-site bonus activity with details to be determined on that. So as I noted before, NREL has been involved in a lot of different collegiate competitions, and through the years we've gained some good lessons learned from the teams. So some of the things that they've said have been really useful is to create opportunities for cross-disciplinary teams to work together, to create firm internal deadlines, reach out to industry advisors for support. I'm thinking the more external engagement you get from the industry is only going to provide more value and insight into how your business plan is going to be shaped. To start early, get everyone who's going to be needed for the team involved early on in the process. Again, I think travel has been something that has come up as sort of a logistical issue that needs to be sorted out early on, figuring out what your university requires for logistics and approvals and that sort of thing, because the teams will be required to attend ICOE in Washington, D.C. More lessons learned here. Take advantage of all the educational webinars and resources that are offered throughout the competition. Start collaborating with outside organizations as early as you can with, many industries. The marine energy industry is, small, and people are working on pretty tight deadlines. So to just start engaging them as early as possible will probably just give you, more success in getting people committed to helping your team. To share your challenges on the all-team calls, get suggestions from other teams on how you solve them, interact as much as possible across the different universities. Stay engaged, even if you're not selected. We'll have a Slack channel that folks can, get information on and resources, and still be part of the informational webinars that we're hosting. And then bring any siloed teams together as early on as possible. So how to apply for the competition: you can download the application at our website. Start forming your team now and working with your school on how to generate support. You can reach out to our competition email address, water.competition@nrel.gov, for assistance in forming teams. and then submit your completed application to that same email address, water.competition@nrel.gov by October 18th, 2019. And just some final additional information. We will have a Slack channel that we will provide updates, and teams can share information with each other. That link is provided here. It is also on our competition website. Final time I'm going to say this, the rules and requirements document is the most important reference to get a better understanding of what this competition entails. And the teams can consist of any combination of undergraduate and graduate students, but some undergraduate participation is required. Also, international institutions are welcome to participate, but they cannot receive funding from NREL. A list of relevant resources, documents, websites, et cetera, that we think would be helpful to the formulation of your ideas and your business plan are available on the MECC website. Also, previous reports submitted by one of our competitions that we host here at NREL, the Collegiate Wing Competition, can be found by going to past competitions and then onto team pages through the links here, which will be sent out to everybody on the call. And that might provide some insight on, the kind of best practices for business plans and what other teams have done to shape that. And it's never too early to start looking for potential team mentors and sponsors. So we encourage everybody to start thinking about this now, reaching out to us if you have any questions. And again, a link to our website. So that is it for the presentation. If you have any questions, please type them into the chat box in the control bar, and we will start answering them in just a minute. All right, well, it looks like we don't have any questions. So again, all the information on the competition can be found through the address, the website, and the rules and requirements document. And any questions that anybody has, please feel free to email the water.competitions@nrel.gov email address, and we will get back to you as quickly as we can. But just want to thank everybody for calling in today. We're really excited about this competition and looking forward to working with all the teams. Reach out if you have any questions, and thank you very much and have a good day.